Well, hey there again, everybody. Welcome back to another tutorial. As you see in this one, I'll be showing you my techniques on how I make ripped and worn seats. This technique you can use for any type of fabric for your vehicles. I hope that this helps you out. If so, please drop a like and comment down below. Also, I'll include the springs and the cushion as you see right there. Thank you so much for watching. Now let's get this started. Here is the seat. It is a two-piece with a hinge. It does fold forward. I'm not worried about that. I'm going to glue mine in place like this right here. This tutorial will work for any type of fabric that you want to look worn and ripped. Alright, now right here is the driver's side. The back here, driver's side, passenger side being over here. Keep that in mind because most of the case, the driver's side is worn down a bit more if you want it realistic. I'm going to take a Sharpie and just outline of where I want it to be cut out and worn down. Alright, now this step is very important, marking things out. This here will be totally cut out. The back just cut out just a little bit. Over here, the other marked areas will not be cut out. That's just reference for later. Alright, now you see how I have this hole cut completely out the bottom and also on the back. That's completely up to you on how you do yours. These other areas you could also sand down or file or even melt. That way it's sunken in a bit. How I'm going to do mine is right here. I'm going to keep the hole and have stuffing coming out. It's going to be sunken in quite a bit. In the back here, I'm just going to have sunken in. I'm just going to kind of cover this hole up a bit. But it's all up to you and your application. Alright, now as you see, I went ahead and painted it black to make some nice shadowing effect. And you see how I have these holes here. Next, you're going to need some wire. This is bread tie sized wire. I have a whole spool of this, comes in handy. You're going to need to make this sort of shape here. These will be the springs for your seats. This will go up under on the inside for your springs, and we'll do that later on. Also, you're going to need some cheap old masking tape. Cheaper the better, that way it's nice and thin. Alright, now I'm going to take my wire here and size it up to this hole. Depending on the size of your hole in your seat, you need to have 2 or 3 rows of springs. I'm going to take my snips here, size all of this up to the hole, and just snip a few pieces off. I'm going to go on the bottom side here with some super glue and just attach it here. Alright, now as you see, I have the wire in there. I have 3 rows underneath. This is what it looks like for the springs. Alright, simple enough. Now you're going to need yourself some sort of fabric or cushion. I have just a scrap piece here. You can use any kind of stuffing, cushion, or anything like that will work. Now I'm going to cut a very small piece of this. I'm going to go underneath here and place it here to cover that hole up. From this side, it'll look like some sort of cushion or stuffing in there. Alright, you can see very clearly here how the cushion is on the bottom. Went ahead and put the cushion in the top as well and kind of plucked it out where it's kind of loose. Alright, now once you've got all that, get your masking tape and just lay it right over on top of your seat or whatever that you're doing this to. You're going to simply press it down and form it into place. Wrap it around the sides if you need to. Alright, now as you see, I got the first layer of that tape on here. Now once you've got that, then you're going to need to take your knife and you're going to cut out where you have that hole at, because you want that to be showing. So go ahead and cut that out here. And doesn't have to be all perfect because you're going to need to have it all frayed out anyway. So once you've got your hole here, as you see, then what you're going to do is you're going to take another layer of tape and you're going to go around it and form it all into place like the first layer. Alright, now this is the second layer of tape on here. Now as you see how I have it wrapped around nice and tight, don't worry too much about the corners here, just make sure that it's tight as possible. A lot of that won't be seen anyhow. Now the reason why we're doing 2 layers is that way we can go inside of here and pick away a little bit at the fabric or at the tape to make it look kind of layered here. But once you've got that second layer, and I won't do any more than 2, go ahead and cut this back out again. Alright, you see how I have the top layer of this tape ripped and worn down and pulled away like fabric? That's what you need to do. Now once you've got that and you're totally happy with it, then you're simply going to take your choice of paint and just spray right over it. Alright, now you see how I have my back all done and ready to paint. Now, very important, I forgot to mention, if you've got what I got here and you have your springs exposed and your cushion and everything like this all cut out where you can see it, you're going to need to cover everything up, all the springs and all. Just a piece of scrap cotton or something just to cover it up temporarily, because when you spray over this you don't want to get paint inside there and cover these springs and all that hard work up. Now if you've not gotten this far and you're watching this before doing it, then just keep these holes covered up, spray over it, then you can cut out your big holes here, exposing your springs and stuffing. But if you got what I got here, then just simply cover them up with something and then just spray over it. Alright, now you probably can't tell, but I do have it painted up because I used this color here, and yes, it's very similar to the same color of the masking tape, but I'm going to use this color for my full interior, so that's what I use there. Now before I take out my stuffing that I covered up my springs and my cushion with, before I take those out, I'm very lightly going to mist over this with some brown or some black, something to kind of dirty up a bit. You don't have to do that, but that's what I'm going to do with mine, because mine is going to be a very dirty and old rusty build. So before you take your stuffing out, if you've got this far, you might need to dirty it up a bit. Alright, now remember, you don't have to do this to yours, but I did dirty mine up. I also dry brushed my homemade solution for rust over it to give it a bit of a dingy old look. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull out my stuffing here. Right now that I have everything exposed, I'm going to go inside of all my nooks and crannies with this panel lining. You guys don't have to do that, but I want to kind of make it a little bit more noticeable. Alright, now here is the finished result. Remember, this application will work for any type of fabric in your vehicle. I hope that you all enjoyed this tutorial. If so, please drop a like and comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.